I'm Jeff Smith, State Senator, 31st Senate District, as you may know, and this is Congressman Mark Pocan, who's with me today, and he has been making the rounds, particularly in my district, the 3rd CD, because we haven't heard from our congressman about what the subsidies or lack of subsidies is going to do to Wisconsin and to his constituents.
Yeah, I mean, right now is a crucial time. In the big ugly law, about 15 million people are going to lose access to health insurance. Everyone's going to pay more for their health insurance. But between now and about mid-October, we're going to get all the new rate increases for the Affordable Care Act and for group policies. And I'm already hearing one group in Madison told me Friday night they got a 41% group rate increase, and people on the Affordable Care Act are really going to get hurt.
And they're going to be getting those notices from now to through January, right? All of these.
Mostly this month, because they usually bill you a little early. And I think by October 17th, the Affordable Care Act rate increases will come to the state.
Yeah, and I've heard up to some people could be increased by up to $24,000 in a single year. It is absolutely nuts. We have 230,000 people who do depend on Affordable Care Act subsidies now in Wisconsin alone. But it affects everybody, doesn't it, Mark?
Yeah, because if you have people who don't have health insurance, and they're saying 15 million people won't have health insurance across the country, it's not like they're not going to get sick. So they go to the hospital, but then no one pays the hospital. You already have a problem in your area. You've lost a couple hospitals in Eau Claire. This is going to cost hospitals across the country $434 billion. And all the Republicans did is put a $50 billion Band-Aid on it. So $1 out of $9 is fixed, but the other 8 out of 9 isn't, and that means we're all going to pay more to make up for that.
You know, with our hospital closures, that has really put a exclamation point on how valuable access is. And just yesterday, I was speaking to a veteran who is now battling cancer, and between the VA and Mayo Health Clinic, they cannot agree on who's going to do what and pay for that. He's having to now bus himself all the way over to Minnesota to the VA there to be able to get the services that he needs. Wisconsin and Western Wisconsin in particular, where I come from, have really been hurt by hospital closures and accessibility. And that's what this is all about. And I want to thank you, Mark, and the rest of the Democrats in Congress for holding your ground, because this is the most important issue to almost every American in this country, is access to their health care.
Well, and also don't forget, it's going to affect all your constituents, is the big ugly law triggered a $500 billion cut to Medicare. And they always told us they wouldn't touch Medicare and Social Security. Well, we're seeing it, and we just saw a big cut. So that's going to affect everybody. And in addition to the rate increases, in addition to people on Medicaid after next November, in addition to the people in the next few weeks on the Affordable Care Act who are going to get these huge rate increases. So it's a lot of attacks just so that they could give a tax break to their donors. So that Elon Musk and Donald Trump and anyone who could afford to belong to Mar-a-Lago can get a tax break. That's what they did.
Bottom line, and I appreciate, Mark, that you taking a moment to talk about this with us, because it is going to affect everyone. I think that's the message we got to get across here. One way or another, everyone's going to feel it. Thanks for being with us, Mark, and thank you for listening today. This is, again, State Senator Jeff Smith from the 31st and Congressman Mark Pocan.
Great state senator, by the way.